Let me tell you a quick story about how powerful these mental fitness tools really are. Because they're not just concepts, they show up in the most real, everyday moments. It was a big day for me on this morning. I had a full day strategy session planned with my marketing guy. I really wanted to show up as my best self. I wanted to be clear, focused, creative. But as the day began, anxiety crept in. I was afraid I wouldn't have the right energy, that I'd be late, that I wouldn't communicate the heart of my work, that somehow the magic, the real purpose behind what I do, wouldn't come through in the content that we were going to create, the strategy that we would come up with. I was afraid my authentic self would be blocked by all this fear and anxiety, and it was starting to spiral. So as all the fear churned in my head, life also kept happening. The baby woke up and needed to be fed. The dog needed to be walked. My partner started her day. Dishes, breakfast, logistics, everything needed something from me. Time felt like it was slipping away, and I felt myself getting hijacked. That's when my old wiring kicked in even worse. The urgency, the restlessness, the impatience. My body got tense. My tone got sharp. I was snapping at the people I love most. And here's the hard truth. I wasn't acting out of love or presence. I was acting out of fear. Fear that I wouldn't be enough. Fear that I'd fail. That somehow I had to earn the right to even want something meaningful for myself, like a successful session, strategy session, or a calm morning. Like I didn't have the right to want these things, and as the shame spiraled in that moment, I caught myself. That's part of the mental fitness that we build in positive intelligence, that moment of awareness. I realized this urgency wasn't helping. It was making everything worse. So I paused, I took a breath, and I imagined my younger self, just a little guy, trying to hold it together before a big day. I imagined what I'd say to him, and it was something like this. Of course you're overwhelmed. Of course you want the day to go well. That doesn't make you weak. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It makes you human. What you need right now isn't urgency. It's support and it's love. And then that one shift in perspective changed everything. I softened. I breathed. I gave myself empathy instead of shame. And from that place of compassion, something beautiful happened. I felt how my energy had impacted my family that morning. And I went home and I apologized. And it wasn't from guilt or from still being hijacked. It was from compassion and an open heart. And my partner, her heart opened too. And what could have been a morning of silent tension became a moment of deep connection. It was a reset, a healing. I walked into that strategy session aligned, grounded, and full of purpose. And guess what? It was one of the best strategy sessions that I'd ever been a part of. That's the power of these tools. They're not just about performance. They're about presence. They're not just about success. They're about connection. They're not just about productivity. They're about purpose. And they're not just fluffy ideas. They're science-based, real-world tools that can completely change how you show up in life, in work, and love. And they've changed mine. They've absolutely changed mine. And they're changing my clients' lives too. So if you're tired of being run by stress, if you feel like you're stuck in the same reactive patterns again and again, please know you're not broken. Don't let that shame spiral. You're just running an outdated survival strategy. And there's another way, one that begins with empathy. So if this story has resonated with you, if you've ever felt pulled between wanting to show up as your best self and instead getting hijacked by stress or fear, I'd love to invite you to explore more. You can visit my website at lionheartcoaching.org to learn how we can work together to build the emotional resilience, the peace, and the purpose you've been craving. You don't have to keep doing it all alone.